Hey great people, check out this video. It's all about the Master Key experience. I hope you like it.
Hi, Rebecca. Thanks for joining us. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hello. I'm very glad to meet you both. I've seen plenty of videos with you. I live in Washington State. The United States is in the Pacific Northwest, just short of the Canadian border. I love fiber arts, textiles, and I love art across the globe. Travel is my passion, and I love to connect with local artisans and crafters wherever I go. I do have my own dog who is like a fox. Do you want to see him?
Yes.
I adopted him last October. He's taking a nap. Let me go get him.
Aww.
Well, Kobe is his name. I adopted him from a lovely family, and they were sad for him, but their circumstances made them want to be sure he'd go to a really lovely home. And he himself is an example to me of the universe has your back, and many people have different phrases, but there are no accidents. Everything happens with purpose and intention, and that includes Kobe. He's a Shiba Inu, and most everybody says, oh my gosh, he looks like a fox.
Could you please explain what the MKE is to you?
Absolutely. The Master Key experience is a process of personal development, and it's a meaningful one. And I have been, throughout my life, a perfectionist. And so my first experience with the Master Key was in 2017. And I just kept bungling it all and getting confused about the fact that I was missing steps. But what's so beautiful about this program is that you receive from it what you need at the moment, and it's a process. So one of the main things I learned is perfection is just a falsehood. You work through it as you progress, and you get from the program what you're prepared for.
What did you get out of the Master Key experience?
Learning that I don't have to step out in fear, and I don't need to find permission to do the things that I am here to do, because they're already destined for me. And so all the tools will come into play at the right time, at the perfect time, for what I'm destined to do. I have a phrase that I really adapted in the last several years, and that's perfection paralysis. So the kind of perfection I'm speaking of before experiencing MKE is that in my thoughts, things had to be done a certain way in which I would find my flaws or my errors, and I just stop, and nothing would move farther because I made a mistake. But the perfection that there is in being who I am, that's a different thing, because it's not about what things I do right, what things I do wrong, and any flaws I commit or cause. It's all aspects of being human, and the understanding that we're all put here perfect, and our human experience is perfect. And when there are things that feel like they're less than perfect, or they're even bad situations for us, in reality, everything works out. Everything is perfect. If there's a trial or a hardship, yes, it can feel really rough at the moment, and maybe even for some time. But I believe that we get to a point of realizing that everything has a purpose, and that purpose is our perfect place on this planet.
Was there a time in your life that led you to search for something like the Master Key experience?
Absolutely. do you boys both know what you want to be when you grow up? Do you
Yeah,
have dreams? What do you want to be?
I want to be a basketball player in the NBA.
Oh, right. And what about you?
I want to be a boss of my own company.
Oh, that's
And I'd
these
like
are
to
both
be
excellent
building
things. See, and when you think about that, how do you feel?
like it's already happened.
Exactly. And I know when I was your age and a little older, I wanted to be an astronaut. And what happened for me is that you become an adult, you need to start earning an income, paying bills, and all the things of being in life and being in charge of your life. And too often, the majority of us, I believe, get so caught up in that race of making sure that we're covering all the things as we see we need to cover them, that it almost becomes a race of survival. And we begin to kind of giggle at the silly dreams we had as kids. And what I've gotten from the MKE is that all of that is still there. I still have a divine purpose, and that purpose is waiting to be continued fulfilling. And it's not all about my effort or me figuring it out. It's simply about me being available.
Is there something else really special that you got out of the Master Key experience?
What I've really taken from the MKE is that you don't necessarily have to know. The next step is there before you take it. You move to take it, and the step will appear.
Have you done any other self-help courses?
I've done a couple of things, both just my own reading and research, as well as an in-person project that stretched over 5 months' time.
Is the MKE better and why?
I certainly can say I have built habits and disciplines that are staying with me in this, whereas other experiences have had a start and a finish, and I worked really hard to try to carry on some of those activities. But the habits that I've built here that continue on beyond the session of the MKE that I completed in March, those habits were instilled unlike they are in other programs. That's the real beauty of being in the right place, in the right moment of my life, and sticking with it and doing it for my personal development. And if I miss a habit here or there, I just keep going, you know? So I no longer have that perfection paralysis.
And do you think we can achieve whatever we want to achieve?
Absolutely. When we realize that we really have nothing to fear, that moving forward is the key, not waiting for what we think may be the perfect circumstances. Because when I began to dream, I had no idea how all this was going to happen. And being somebody that needs to know every step and have some control over it, I would just say these things like, I'd love it, but I don't know how it's going to happen. And the things that I began dreaming about the first time I did the MKE, they were really out there as far as how I thought they would come together. And yet so many of them have, and it's just the beginning of my journey to connecting, to traveling, to hosting people, to really bring about their own creativity and inspiration. And at the time that these inspirations were first coming to me and my desires, I had no idea. I had no idea how it was coming about. If I can leave one message with every person I come in contact with, I would love to impact them with this. Everyone is creative. Every one of us is a creative being. And we just get to open up and find the inspiration and learn what our creative purposes are. Be it writing, drawing, painting, knitting, weaving, speaking, we're all creative. And that pathway of personal discovery and realizing what that thing is that lights your fire and your creative abilities, it changes everything.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notifications on so you don't miss an upload. See ya! Bye!